if the world would have been as it is today without United Nations. Even though we still have war and some famine or refugees problems, but without the United Nations, I think it would be worse. You could not done your perfect work without the cooperation of many of the nations. And that is not the entire fault of the United Nations if we still have war and other issues of political unsolved issues at the moment, because some members of the world just refuse to cooperate. And that I know is very difficult for such a unit like United Nations to move the whole world when some of them just stay there, stamp their feet like children and just doesn't listen, just do their way and want their way. Well, that I'm very sorry that the work of the United Nations is a very, very tough, very difficult, delicate, and needs a lot of patience, diplomacy, and strength. And God may bless you with all this in any time you need. When Alexander the Great died, he has instructed that his subordinate should put him in the coffin with both hands stretched out, empty, to teach the later generation not to go into war, not to accumulate any possession, because when we die, we have nothing. But it is said that some of the members, the citizens of our world, or some of the nation, does not fully understand this lesson. Let's hope they will. Most of people who make war are the ones who are too well protected, who speak from their own chamber, from their own sofa, and who does not go out into the front to fight in the danger. Therefore, they bring forth this kind of disaster to other people, including their own, because they do not sense truly what danger is in the battle and what suffering means when one is wounded or tormented by the casualty of the war. When Napoleon Bonaparte of France was standing in the battlefield between France and Austria, he was so shocked and so hurt because of the casualty. It's about 15,000 soldiers died on both sides. And he wrote a very desperate letter to the King of Austria at that time, said, please let us make peace, let us stop the war. Because he wrote to him, to the king, that you have not been in the battle like I have, so you don't know what it is to stand here alone with 15,000 corpses around you and seeing all the suffering every day of the soldiers. And that is not all. How about those who stays behind? Yes, I think most of you have watched the film Born on the 4th of July, and you have known what it is like. The after effect also, not only the immediate effect. A radio station who interviewed me a few days ago in Texas, he asked me, is the war good or not? Should we, as a spiritual people, kind of not resort to war like what we do now in the Middle East? I said we should stop the cause, not the consequence. It's too late. If we don't want orange, we should never plant orange seeds in the ground. Or at least we should never water it, or pluck it out of the ground when it was little. But some people like to nourish the war, for whatever reason you might know. Sometimes they said to me, some of the people that I know, they said to me, well, we have to take care of the people of this country. Therefore, we have to make a war in order to have the benefit thereof for our country. That is very good, very patriotic from saying viewpoint. But as a long run and from spiritual standpoint, it is a loss, because later on the bad karma will come. The karma is the consequence of what we sow. Like in the Bible, it says, as you sow, so shall you reap. When the cause is no good, the consequence cannot be good. If we try to make money or fame or to nourish a group of people or a nation by the benefit of the war, then later that cause will also feed back on us and we become the victim. We cannot sow an orange and get an apple. That is the physical law of this world. And as long as we are in the physical world, we must obey the physical law. No one can avoid that, even if he is a Buddha or a Jesus Christ, let alone we, the ordinary beings. Therefore, the people who make war do not study much the Bhagavad Gita, the doctrine of the law of karma, and they might not even glance at the Bible, which says, as you sow, so shall you reap. Long time ago, when the Buddha was alive, he told a very interesting story of how war has been started and caused since a very ancient time, since people began to appear on this earth. The cause of war, the seeds of war has been sown already. So now what we are having every day is just a consequence of that, a continued consequence, or a very unavoidable series of chain work. The story is like this. In the beginning of time, after this world of ours has been destroyed, and there's nothing here, everyone's gone to different worlds according to their desires and their tendency when they were still in this world. So some were sent to probably a more miserable condition, some will sleep for a long time, some go to so-called heaven. Most of people who are virtuous go to a place called Guanyin planet. Guanyin has nothing to do with our method, okay? That is a place called Guanyin. Now, people stay there in glory for long, inimaginable period of time. And after that, this planet came into being. First, it was just nebulous and uninhabitable. After a long period of time, you must imagine there's a long stretch of billions of ages. And then this world came into being. And then slowly, those people who stay in this so-called Guanyin planet, the first one appear in this world. At that time, this world has no leader, no being, nothing. And then one of the beings from that higher planet saw this world empty. But the throne was ready. Yeah, so he came down. So that was the first we call Brahma. Yeah. Well, according to the story, yeah, the Buddha said it. And then suddenly he's so alone, no good. He said, I wish some more beings come to me. Yeah. So then they come, all these beautiful people from the Guanyin planet. They call it Guanyin because in that planet people live nourished by light and sound only. They are not in necessity of solid food like we do now. Okay. So slowly many of them came to this world and settled down. When they came here, they live in light and glory. They can fly anywhere they want, then be in everywhere instantly. There is no need for vehicles or any physical transportation, no need for any language. They still understood each other perfectly, and they still be very free in their own way and in their glory. And they live in glory for long ages, trillions of years. And then slowly this world became more solidified and more beautiful and more visible and more glorious. And then some of these beings walk around the sea or fly around the seas, the seashores, and saw some kind of form from the sea. And these forms look so beautiful, so shining, and smell so nice, lot of very strange fragrance emanate from this kind of foam which floats on the sea. Some of them were curious, and they just land down and they taste some of it. Never saw this thing before. It has never appeared before. So first they look, and it's so beautiful, and then the smell so irresistible. So they taste it, and it was so nice. They never eat anything before.